Well, welcome everyone to the Palm Desert City Council for Thursday, December 12th. And we have left closed session. Are there any comments?
There's no reportable action taken at closed session this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, and I will beg everyone's indulgence. I haven't done this for a while, so I welcome guidance and help from our city clerk as we go forward. Can we have the roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Harnick,
Here.
Councilmember Kelly,
Here.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Here.
Councilmember Truby. Here. Mayor Quintanilla is absent due to illness.
Okay, at this time, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be with Councilmember Nastandi. And the inspiration, please remain standing with Councilmember.
Welcome, everyone, and join me in honoring our flag and our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. I'd like to share a quote from Jane Goodall, whom I hope all of you are aware is most renowned for her incredibly insightful research with chimpanzees. Change happens by listening and then starting a dialogue with the people who are doing something you don't believe is right. The chances are very, very good that in coming months and years, some of you here tonight will be back to give public comment about contentious issues. And I hope you will remember this quote. I hope you will remember that Jane Goodall found things to be appreciated in a whole nother species. Let that be an inspiration to all of us to find things to appreciate in other members of our species, especially when we disagree. Especially when we disagree. Because if we can sit down and share with curiosity instead of animosity, we might just break ground. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll move to awards and presentations. Is Dr. Zavala here today? Okay, then we will save that for another time. And we have a presentation that I don't want to give really, because that means she's leaving, and that's for Gloria Sanchez. Is that? We're only kind of happy about this. Okay. Whereas Gloria Sanchez has faithfully served the city of Palm Desert since September 27th, 1999, beginning her career as an office assistant and demonstrating an exceptional ability to adapt and excel in various roles, including records technician, acting deputy city clerk, acting city clerk, and currently as the city's records coordinator. And whereas throughout her remarkable 25-year tenure, Gloria has consistently demonstrated unwavering dedication to the city's mission and values, earning recognition for her exceptional research skills and her ability to locate and retrieve vital records. And that is for sure, she does that. Greatly benefiting both staff and the public. And whereas Gloria's commitment to community service extended beyond her professional duties, as evidenced by her volunteer work with the Coachella Valley Healthcare Clinic, where she dedicated personal time to assist community members in assessing essential healthcare services. And whereas Gloria has been honored with numerous awards, including the city's Employee Recognition Award for Excellence in Teamwork in April 2009, a nomination for Support Staff Member of the Year by the Southern California City Clerks Association in 2015, and achieving her Certified Municipal Clerk designation in 2021, reflecting her commitment to professional development and excellence. And whereas Gloria's bilingual skills have enhanced public accessibility and inclusivity, enabling her to serve a diverse population with empathy and patience, particularly seniors and those less familiar with technology, thus embodying the city's mission to be a welcoming and accessible government. And whereas, in recognition of her exemplary service and remarkable career, Gloria Sanchez will be inducted into the city's plaque recognizing enduring excellence, a distinguished honor reserved for those retired employees whose significant contributions have left a lasting impact on the city of Palm Desert. And now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Palm Desert hereby recognizes and commends Gloria Sanchez for her exceptional leadership, tireless dedication, and extraordinary service to the city of Palm Desert. In acknowledgement of her remarkable career, we proclaim this day in honor of Gloria Sanchez, celebrating her contributions to the city and wishing her happiness and fulfillment in her well-earned retirement. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I asked her if she wanted to say a few words, and she said no, because she didn't want to cry. And we're all crying, and we'll be crying every time we need her help too. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
It's been a pleasure serving this community, an honor and privilege. I love you all.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a tough one. Now we'll move to 9B, the adoption of a resolution declaring the results of the November 5th, 2024 general municipal election. And, you know, I have I'm way out of order. Did I have, oh, here we are. Is that the city manager? Or how are we doing this?
Madam Mayor, at this time, it is the adoption certifying the election results. And I would suggest inviting the public if they have any public comments at this time related to the election or the organization of the city council. And that would
Okay.
be the appropriate time.
Thank you. And I think we'll start with Jeremy Smith. It makes sense that you'd be first.
We doing, everyone? My name is Jeremy Smith. I'm the Government Relations Officer for our Auditor Controller, Ben Benoit. And Ben wasn't able to make it this evening, but he did send his favorite person, and that is his mother, Cheryl Benoit. So it's not me, don't worry, it's his mother. But Kathleen, I'm here to honor you because you serve on the Oversight Board Committee, and you were one of the original members to serve on that board. And a lot of the people in the public might not know, although you do good things here in the city of Palm Desert, regionally as well, you've been an impact and you've helped others throughout. So on behalf of the Auditor Controller and on behalf of the entire board, I just want to say thank you for your service. You will be missed. And you did good things while serving on that board. So we appreciate you so much. And this is a certificate for you.
Thank you. Next, can we have Rosemary Ortega?
Good evening, members of council. Mayor Harnick, I'm very happy to be here today. My name is Rosemary Ortega, address is 40160 Nolina Court, Palm Desert. I am currently the president of Palm Desert Sister Cities Foundation. Some of you may know that we started out as a subcommittee of the Public Arts Committee way back in 1999 at the request of the city council for us to serve our community. So I'm here on behalf of other board members that are here present. And we want to thank Kathleen for being the council liaison on her foundation board for many years. Her steadfast commitment to the principles of Sister City International, which is citizen diplomacy through community engagement in our community, as well as in the communities of our two sister cities of Gisborne, New Zealand, and Ixtapas, Mexico, has been so valuable. She has been committed. She has been a super supporter. She believes in what we try to do to represent our city, to maintain the standard of excellence that the city of Palm Desert has always had in every endeavor, especially when citizens and residents of the city are asked to serve. We do it gladly and with pride. So I am here to thank Kathleen for her friendship, for her support, for her guidance. And I tend to get a little emotional at times, so excuse me for that. But we treasure Kathleen, we treasure our council, we treasure our city, and we are very happy to continue to serve our city as best as we can. But we, at this point, need to just acknowledge the great contribution that Kathleen has given to our foundation. So Kathleen, thank you so much. We love you.
I do have one more blue card on this specific item. If anybody else would like to speak, I would ask that you, on this about Kathleen, I would ask that you fill out a blue card. The next, and thank you, Rosemary. Our next speaker is David Toltzman.
It's tough to follow that one. I want to thank you for Kathleen for your service. On behalf of just a resident of Palm Desert and as president of the Historical Society for all the things that you've done for us. So thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, at this point, is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Or I'll say a few words.
Oh,
You meant.
oh, wait, I'm sorry. We have David Salgado from
Okay.
Southern California Association of Governments, who is here today. You did, I didn't pay attention. You're used to that with me, I
Yes,
know.
ma'am, absolutely. Thank you for having me here today, David Salgado. I'm the
There it
Senior-
is.
Senior Government Affairs Officer for the Southern California Association of Governments. I wanted to come today and present the certificate of appreciation to Ms. Kathleen Kelly. For those of you that don't know, SCAG is the largest metropolitan planning organization in the nation. We cover 191 cities, 18 million residents, 6 counties, and most of Southern California. Kathleen Kelly has spent a lot of time on our regional council, our executive board, advocating for the region, her constituents, and this community. And we very much appreciate that at SCAG. And we thank you for your service. And I brought a certificate of appreciation today. And it's a very small token to kind of show our appreciation for all your work. I've learned a lot from you and from a lot of elected officials that I see. But you are a true advocate for your community and for the region, and for that we are grateful. And I know I speak on behalf of our executive director, Komi Ajise, when I say thank you and the staff. So thank you.
Thank you. Before you speak, we'll just wait for her to return. Okay, thank you. Please.
Okay. Well, Kathleen, you and I back in 2016, 8 years ago, right around today, I can't believe it just seems like yesterday, and where are the 8 years gone? But during this 8-year period, I personally have learned so much from you, Kathleen. Even though we might not see eye to eye on some issues, we could at least discuss the issues and speak our differences, and so be it. And again, I've just learned so much from you, and I've watched you over the years, your compassion, your love for this community. And there'll still be a role in our city somewhere. I'm sure you're not going off into the sunset. And also I honor Kathleen so much by how you take care of your mother. And you've just devoted so much of your life to this city. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kathleen. I know it's only been 2 years, but in those 2 years, I've certainly learned a lot by watching how you navigate a lot of the tough issues in such a thoughtful and nuanced way. So I really appreciate all I've learned from you, and I hope you continue to contribute to our wonderful city. I know you will. Thank you.
Ready? Yeah. Kathleen Kelly has been such an asset to our community, and not only to the city, but to the region, to Southern California, and has done things that most of you will never even know about, and has prevented issues that, thank goodness, we'll never have to know about. She's done an amazing job, whether it was leading the charge while respecting property rights, but leading the charge against short-term rentals where they belonged and where they didn't belong, maintaining the integrity and the values of our community. She did a yeoman's job at that. There are so many people here who know and have benefited by that. She worked during COVID to protect our health and our safety in this community. She worked diligently with our public safety to find a way while we were having, everything was shut down, certainly budget issues, and working with our public safety, working with our health professionals, she found a way to keep our community safe and to keep it flourishing. And those are just a couple things that Kathleen has done. She's an amazing human being, a great asset to our community. And again, many of the things she's done, you'll never know about. And that's the beauty of Kathleen. So I thank you for everything you've done for me in my home, our region, that so many people will not know that she has done. But I thank you for making this a better community than I walked into in 1977. You've done a lot. So thank you for everything. So we have no more blue cards. So I will then entertain a motion. Am I on track, Anthony?
There's the presentation of the plaque.
Presentation, you needed a plaque. Thank you. It simply says, in appreciation for your dedicated service and commitment to the city of Palm Desert and its residents. So to Kathleen Kelly. And now I will entertain a motion to accept the results as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Councilmember Nusandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Truby.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Did you want to make any remarks?
Yes,
Then please.
I really shouldn't. I'm on a roll right now. I should. But there are a couple of things I'd like to feature. Those who have spoken have shared with things outside your view. And I want to share with you about a major, major blessing that has been bestowed on me in my city service. In viewing our city staff as they perform their functions outside your view. Inevitably, you have cause to sometimes register a complaint or a concern. Throughout my time on council, I've seen time and time again, in response to any resident complaint or concern, our staff responds with empathy and with inspiration to try to do better. It's really impressive that a staff of this size can be populated by folks who experience their vocation not as city employment, but truly as city service. I want you to know that that has been my observation throughout my years on council. And so if you see a pothole we've missed or an opportunity to do something better, please do use the InTouch app or the telephone or a link on engagepalmdesert.com because they're eager to hear from you for input that will help them to do their jobs better. Because we have such an outstanding staff, this council, working together collaboratively, has been able to articulate some really ambitious goals. Starting in 2020, we revised the system for goal setting and listed some very ambitious multi-year goals. I thank my colleagues for the collaborative work that made that possible. And I'm pleased as I leave this dais at the progress that has been made, securing $79 million in funds to expand our CSU campus, making real strides toward constructive redevelopment of the mall by inducing a good purchaser for its future, and really committing ourselves to a multi-year rebuilding of our public safety services to enhance their effectiveness, with staff additions to the business district team, to school resource, with over 130 license plate readers that have been a staff multiplier equivalent to 3 officers. And importantly, last month, adding the deputies enabled by passage of Measure G. So thank you to my colleagues for working together despite any differences to accomplish these goals. I'll miss the collaboration, but I'll look forward to serving however it's invited or tolerated. And looking out, I see so many of you who are active in our community, voicing your perspectives. Thank you. And please continue to participate in what I humbly view as the best city in the United States.
So true.
Although I'm leaving council sooner than I had hoped, I think I'm part of one record that will stand for a very long time as half of the longest serving father-daughter team. Adieu.
You need to hearing this out.
Thank you, Kathleen. Okay, this is the point where our city clerk will administer the oath of office to our newly elected or re-elected council members. Can we have Joe Pradetto? And Gina Nestandi. Go ahead, Deb.
Oh, I have to go down.
Actually, if you'll raise your right hand. Congratulations. If you'll repeat after me, I, please state your name.
I, Joe Pradetto,
While serving as a member of the Palm Desert City Council,
while serving as a member of the Palm Desert City Council,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And this is your.
And you go down.
I'll be right here next to me. No, I go down.
And Councilmember Nestandi. You'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name.
I, Gina Nestandi. I, Gina Nestandi,
While serving as a member
while serving as a member
of the Palm Desert City Council,
of the Palm Desert City Council,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and defend
and defend
the
the Constitution
Constitution of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
to
to the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, Joe Pradetto. And would you like to make some remarks?
Yes, please. I am a flawed man. Very, very flawed. And my flaws are too numerous to list. But I'm not so flawed to not say thank you to many of you here who supported me. And yet, despite my flaws, you did support me. And why? I think it's because I'm a dreamer. And you're a dreamer too. Because it isn't about me. It isn't about you. It's about something that transcends us. About the future. Building a better tomorrow for our children, our children's children, and generations to come. The other day, my daughter here was telling me about her dreams. That when she finishes school, she wants to get a job and buy a house and build a life of independence. Her dream is one many people share, and that's the desire to work hard, succeed, and create a life filled with hope and opportunity. And as I listened to her, I thought about all the challenges that threaten dreams just like hers. Rising cost of living, crime, oppressive systems that stifle rather than empower. These challenges remind me why we're here and why we fight and why we dream. So I dream. I dream of a prosperous future where through hard work and good sense, everyone can build a life filled with hope and freedom. Now, I can't promise that future. No one can. But I do promise my unwavering commitment to work toward it. And I ask for your help to bring it to fruition. I didn't get here alone, and we won't get there without a collective effort. The journey won't be easy because the right thing, the true thing, is not always the popular thing. And there's an old political adage. You're never more popular than the day you take office. And a friend of mine before the meeting reminded me that maybe the second most popular day of your life is when you leave office. But that's fine because I didn't run to make friends. I ran to make a difference. So I hope to exchange this moment of fleeting popularity for an enduring legacy of good sense, honesty, and effectiveness. And I pray for the wisdom to guide us into a future bright with freedom and opportunity. But know this, anything worth doing does not come easily. The path will be steep and the work hard, but together we can climb it. Together we can build that brighter tomorrow. And together we can make dreams possible. So let's begin. Let's get to work. Thank you.
Councilmember Nastandi, would you like to offer some words, please?
Well, Joe, or I should say Councilmember Pradetto, welcome to our council. And I know you're going to bring a fresh perspective, as you just said in your speech. And I've known you for some years, and I do know you do love this city and you have our best interest at heart. And I know it was probably a challenging and difficult time to run for office, and you had some important decisions to make. And I welcome you and look forward to working and collaborating with you. Thank you.
Okay, we will now go to 9E, which is the appointment of the mayor and mayor pro tem. The recommendation is and this is a little awkward, but appoint Jan Harnick to the position of mayor. and Evan Truby to the position of Mayor Pro Tem for a one-year term commencing upon appointment. Can we have a motion, please?
I'll move.
I will second the motion.
Is this a voice vote?
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Prodetto,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Harnick.
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
thank you. Then how about some comments, Mayor Pro Tem Truby?
About just in general?
Well, it says, I'll call upon you to provide some comments.
Nice. Oh, let's just kind of open, this sort of open-ended here.
Well, you can say how great we all are.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an honor to assume Mayor Pro Tem, and want to welcome Joe and look forward to working with you and your perspective on council and how we're going to tackle some of the issues moving forward. So thank you.
Okay. And generally, when I take this position as mayor, I say, let's get to work, let's do the people's work. But I have a couple comments this time. First, I want to thank the community who had the wisdom to pass Measure G, because it is an investment in our future. But I want to talk about something else. And that is, we've been hearing a lot about, I have the right to, my rights lately. And I want to quote somebody, Newton Minow. And some of you may know the name, probably not, but he is the person we do know this quote from, television is a vast wasteland. You probably all know that. He actually served on the FCC under JFK. He only passed away a year ago, so he had a long and incredible career. But what he said was, it's getting to the point where everybody's got a right and nobody's got a responsibility. We have a responsibility. And without us upholding our responsibilities, no one has rights. It's our job. We just aren't given rights. We have a responsibility to make sure those rights exist. And we take ethics training, and what they teach us is because something is legal does not make it ethical. Ethics are above legality. So I encourage everyone at this dais and everyone in the community to remember, because it is legal does not make it ethical. Because you have a right doesn't mean you have a responsibility. We have work to do to support our community, to support our rights, and to make sure that those rights exist long into the future. And that's our responsibility. So now, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Now, do we need to? We should. For everyone to congratulate, enjoy the moment, have your 10 minutes of popularity, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right. And I'm gonna.
Okay. Okay, we're back. And we're going to move right to 10, which is city manager comments.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to take opportunity to ask Lieutenant Porras to brief the city council in terms of things that might be going on right now or information that he wants to like to share.
Well, hello. Well, first off, I'd like to thank Councilmember Kelly for her years of service and welcome Councilmember Joe Perdetto to his new role. Looking forward to working with him and you as well, Jan Harnick and Evan Truby in your new roles. Thank you. And it's good to see you again, Gina. So as many as you know, as Captain Agnoletto recently retired about a month ago, and after 4 years of being the captain at the Palm Desert Sheriff Station. And I have the honor to introduce you our new captain. His name is Jason Sexton. So without further ado, I'll let him introduce himself.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Honorable Council, members of the community. Thank you for having me. My name is Jason Sexton. I just want to give you a quick little bio of me so you get to know where I'm coming from, where my experience lies. I started with the Riverside Sheriff's Office when I was 19 years old as a correctional deputy. Worked our patrol stations at Hemet and San Jacinto, worked some special teams there, promoted to corporal at the Hemet station. Then I transitioned to the sergeant role at one of our jails. And then on to Moreno Valley, worked several special teams there as well. Promoted to the rank of lieutenant and served as the chief of police for the city of Prupa Valley. And then I transitioned to the Sheriff's Emergency Response Team. For those of you that don't know what that is, the Emergency Response Team, or CERT, is responsible for our emergency response to any natural disasters, civil unrest, and ultimately planning for the department in any eventuality that could come. And here I am now serving as the captain over our desert cities and communities here. And I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
And Mayor, for my second comment, I would like to recognize our finance director, Veronica Chavez, and her team. The City of Palm Desert was recently recognized, I believe, with our second Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association. And this is no small amount of work that Veronica and her team have overtaken in the last couple of years, trying to professionalize the way that we present financial information. So congratulations to Veronica and the finance team.
Mayor, if I may add, we took an extra step this year to personalize the budget. And so I asked Anthony to pull up one of our department pages. And if you haven't thumbed through it, you can see the personality of each of our departments on their pages. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else? It's hard to personalize a budget crew, but thank you for doing that for us. Okay, is there anything else?
Nothing further. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Then we will move to city council member reports and requests for actions. Would you like to start? Why not?
None at the moment, Madam Mayor.
I do have one, because I met with the CVAG Energy and Environmental Committee a few weeks ago. And I just wanted to bring it to staff's attention and the city council. There's going to be a meeting on December 20th in Diamond Bar with the South Coast Air Quality District. They manage our air quality from Orange County all the way here to Coachella Valley. And they're looking at potentially banning the use of gas appliances in certain circumstances, specifically gas heaters. If your gas heater goes out, this proposed ordinance would mean that if it goes out, you have to replace it with an electric gas heater. And then that also triggers your HVAC fan. If your HVAC motor is powered by gas, it will need to be converted by electricity. I don't know if the city manager, you've heard of this. and it costs thousands of dollars to replace it. And then if your home's electrical panel can't support the new electrical equipment, then that's going to be thousands of more dollars. And it's not a funded mandate. And I know we all want clean air and it's to reduce the NOx in the air, but the studies are inconclusive. So they are having a public hearing, and you can do it via Zoom. And I don't know if we can post that on the website if people want to listen in, but it's going to be December 20th, I believe at 10 a.m.
We will certainly post it.
Have you been following this?
I have not heard that this has gone this far, but we will ask staff to monitor it and report back to council.
Okay, thank you.
And I would imagine that people would have an opportunity to make comments at that
Correct,
meeting
yes,
as well.
this is the time to make comments.
Please.
All right. Thank you. Actually, I missed an opportunity to congratulate Gina earlier on winning her third term. So congratulations to you, Gina. You're obviously doing something right, and the people have responded accordingly. So good work. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not all about Joe tonight. And so I do have one request for action. And this has been prompted by both my observations as well as some comments I've received from business owners and residents in Palm Desert about the use of El Paseo by commercial vehicles or trucks making deliveries. I know we have sort of an ordinance in place that prohibits commercial vehicles along El Paseo, that restricts them just for deliveries to businesses along El Paseo. And I just wonder if there's any alternatives. First off, I'm not sure how strictly or how well that's being enforced, if at all. And so I would like to see the possibility of just revisiting our policy ranging from a total prohibition to stricter enforcement of existing ordinance. And I know first and foremost in that discussion will be presenting it to the El Paseo Business Improvement District. And of course, their opinion is going to weigh very, very heavily on this subject, but it's just something I would like staff to look into on the feasibility and possibility and viability of any further measures regarding commercial vehicles along El Paseo. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I do have a couple things that I'd like to bring up. I've heard from a lot of community members regarding 74, State Route 74, the issues of some significant potholes, people have blown out tires and those sorts of things. And it is a state route, and that means that Caltrans is responsible for it. And there's been some dangerous situations up there. So at the Riverside County Transportation Commission meeting yesterday, I did ask Caltrans to look into it and get back to us. I know they are doing some patchwork up there, but it's been a big issue that I've heard about a lot lately. So we will have some information on that. Additionally, on the note of budgets, RCTC, the Riverside County Transportation Commission, which is very important to our valley and to our communities, specifically Palm Desert, all of the communities, also had their audit done by Eide Bailey. And they went through their annual comprehensive financial report. They receive a clean opinion. And this is an entity that uses more than $1 billion a year to make sure that our infrastructure, our transportation infrastructure, is maintained. The grade separations are in good shape. They're also responsible for our trains and things like that. So it's great news to hear that they've got that, the unmodified opinion. And so we just are trending in the right direction on audits and budgets. So that's good. Also, I'd like everybody, when they get the chance, to go on over and look at our new community center. It is redone. It is amazing. It's right across the parking lot here. They've done an amazing job, and it's a wonderful asset to our community, as well as the dog park, which was redone. I want to mention one other thing, and generally this opportunity for us to speak is to talk about things that are important to the community members. And I will explain why this is important. At the Skag Regional Traffic Snapshot, the people who walk and bike comprise 5% of the daily trips and 36% of the fatalities. And the reason I say that, and I bring this up now, is because Palm Desert is doing an amazing job with the walk and roll effort, keeping our city straight, streets safe, making places where cars should be, where bikes should be, where people should be, and creating a safer environment. Palm Desert is ahead doing this work, and the team in Palm Desert is doing a great job. It's really critical that we pay attention to it and we get it done. So that's what I've got. So we'll move from public comments. We will, yes.
Madam Mayor, could I just see if there was a second for Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem Truppi's request?
Oh,
I'll second.
Thank you.
there you go. Thank you. So we'll move to the non-agenda public comments, and I have a few cards. First is Jana Karolzinski. How'd I do?
It's Korchinski, like you're sneezing.
Boy, did I miss it. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. The residents of Kaufman and Broad and Shepherd Lane neighborhoods have been complaining about breathing problems, damage to pools along with their increased maintenance and other issues created when the development began. The refuge Palm Desert development began. Most problems are caused by disturbance of the sand, soil, and/or the green fixative sprayed down to hold the illegal and unnecessary man-made escarpment in place. Refuge Palm Desert representatives, when contacted by individuals with complaints, have been obfuscating, saying the problems are a result of Hurricane Hillary, and the city contact has not returned emails or phone calls. It is rich that the refuge people would bring up the Hurricane Hillary flooding, as they have created a flooding hazard behind the two bordering neighborhoods when we get the big rain event. What do we want? We would like the council to instruct the city staff to schedule at the first opportunity a neighborhood meeting with refuge developers regarding the planning and planting of the meandering walkway directly behind our neighborhood homes. We do not care how they landscape the remainder of their development. At the meeting, we would like to see from the developer a rendering of the wall planned for the areas behind our neighborhoods on top of the escarpment. We would also want a statement in writing from the developer that it would be a 6-foot-high wall rather than a galvanized tubular view fence on which view lots are described on their plans. After agreeing about the types and numbers of plants, we would like the walkway to be completed and planted immediately. We would like the city to maintain the landscaped walkways until such time as the Palm Desert Refuge Del Webb Explore Community Homeowner Association can take over that function. We do not feel our requests are unreasonable considering the developer, in collusion with city staff, violated state law by building an unnecessary and offensive elevated structure behind the Kaufman Broad and Shepherd Lane communities, creating a public nuisance, potential flooding, and the elimination of a wonderful view for the up to 30-year existing residents. Thank you.
Thank you. The next, Charles Cronenweth.
My name is Charles Cronenweth, and I reside at 74040 Chinook Circle in Palm Desert. And I'm here to just give an overview of my experience now that the Palm Desert Refuge project is under construction. We purchased our lot in 2016, and at the time we purchased, we realized that the vacant lot, the 100 acres that was behind us, would be developed at some point in the future. But we always thought that the development would be in concert with the existing neighborhood, which is R5 zoning, single-family homes. So we kept an eye on the site for quite a while. Sometime in 2018, we went down to the Planning Commission and we noticed that the zoning was changed from an R5 to R20, allowing 20 units per acre. We were never notified, nor were any of the neighbors along Shepherd or Woodward notified of the zoning change. The second thing that we found out from the zoning, from the Planning Commission, was that a developer was in negotiation to develop that, but there was going to be a 50-foot buffer zone along the south and the east side of the project. And it was only going to be single-story homes. Consequently, that was reduced from 50 feet to 45 feet. We were never able to understand how the boundary was shrunk in, and there also is allowed two-story homes amongst the 335 that are being built there. We sort of accepted that, but what we have the most difficult with is the elevation and change between the two subdivisions. Our subdivision, the new subdivision, is being constructed 11 feet higher than our lots. We don't feel that the Planning Commission, the Planning Department of Palm Desert should allow a subdivision to be built 11 feet higher than an existing subdivision. It takes away our view of the mountains. It provides us with looking at a wall of sand behind us, and it has increased the amount of dust that's getting into our house to the point where we wake up every morning and we can barely breathe. And the mitigation of the dust that Pulte Construction is trying to do with some watering and the green polymer is not working. It's become really an unbearable eyesore. So as a minimum, I think they need to address the slope. The dust mitigation is not working, and we're asking for some help on the issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Linda Chandler.
Good evening, council members, Madam Mayor. My name is Linda Candler. I live at 7404 Chinook Circle. And I am also here with concerns about the refuge project. Previously, I've been here and presented some photographs, and I have photographs with me today, which I've submitted in advance, showing what has happened behind us. It almost makes me want to cry when I look at what's behind you as a beautiful mountain view. And I look now at this, which is an 11-foot high wall. It's higher than what was approved for our section of the plan, and I'll discuss that in a moment. It's covered with dirt and green stuff. The dust is so bad, as my husband just said, we wake up every morning, we can barely breathe. We are asking for immediate attention to the landscaping and the grading. We don't feel the grading was to plan. I'll go into a couple of specifics. Initially, there was to be a 50-foot landscape buffer. That's somehow reduced to 45 feet. We never got notice of that and how it would be changed or had a chance to comment on that. But the specific plan that was approved back in September of 2022 specifically referenced in paragraph 2.4 a 50-foot landscape buffer. At the Planning Commission hearing earlier, I believe it was last May, 2023, I did come and oppose the fact that because there is an elevation gain, and behind our home, it was supposed to be 7 feet, not the 10 or 11 feet that it is now. I objected to the reduction in the landscape buffer specifically because of the slope. It was supposed to look like this. At a 50-foot buffer zone, A 7-foot slope would have meant a 14-foot at a 2-to-1 slope distance, meaning it should have started 36 feet at least from behind our back wall. It starts at 22 feet, so it's moved in more than 10 feet. It's also graded steeper because there's a retention basin that was created, again, unbeknownst to us, because it was never in any public notice that that would be one of the changes at the rough grading plan hearing in March of 2024. That dropped the slope 2 feet behind our house. That increased the slope from at least 14 feet to 17 feet. In addition, there is now at the top of the slope, as shown in this photograph, which I've submitted, a big flat area. It's 2 fence panels deep right now. I don't know, we've asked to get some verification of the distance that temporary fence is, but there's at least a 5-foot shelf, 5 to 10-foot flat area at the top. Instead of grading it as they initially proposed and told us would happen, where the grading would go all the way to the back wall of the new homes. So there's discrepancy in the grading.
And I ask you to please wind it up. You're over your time.
All right, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
It's an emotional subject, obviously, but I support my neighbor's request. We'd like it landscaped at a minimum, and it needs to be done sooner rather than later. We can't wait 5 years for an HOA to be established. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I'll just do the housekeeping remarks for anybody who might be on Zoom.
Great, thank you.
For those on Zoom, if you want to participate in public comment, please click the raise hand button on your computer or smartphone. If you're joining by calling in on your phone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. And when called upon, press *6 to unmute yourself. And there's no public comment, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, we will now move to the consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve?
I'd like to pull 13J.
I'm sorry,
I'd like to pull 13J.
Jay? Are there any others?
Yes, Mayor, staff is pulling 13X.
Okay. Any other? Okay,
I'll move the balance.
I will second.
thank you. Can we have a vote, please?
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Harnick.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, we'll go to J, 13J.
I just want to make a couple of comments on this one. This item relates to a letter sent under Mayor Quintanilla's signature opposing proposed state transportation policies aimed at fighting climate change and promoting equity. And we're only ratifying it. It's already been sent. The letter highlights the important work our city is doing to improve lives, expanding access to education with our own standalone university and creating new economic opportunities. It also notes that our built environment makes reliance on passenger vehicles a necessity. In this case, necessity aligns with individual preference, as most people prefer to drive and only take the bus when that isn't an option. Diverting funds from our necessary and preferred mode of transportation to alternatives undermines our efforts. I support the letter's position on this issue. However, the letter also states that part of the basis of opposition is on policies related to equity. And I found this noteworthy because the state's intended purpose behind these policies is to promote equity. While I understand the rationale, arguing that these policies fail their own equity goals, this creates a circular argument that, in my view, adds little value. It also concerns me the extent to which the concept of equity rooted in socialist ideals may have crept into our frame here at City Hall. And I ran on a platform of shifting our frame from that of equity into one of meritocracy, the belief that through education and hard work, anyone and everyone can improve their life. So moving forward, I just wanted to make these comments as a statement that I would like to see as these items move forward, a shift to more pragmatic, common sense, and meritocratic basis for how we make decisions and improve lives.
Thank you. On S, did you want to, is it possible that we might be able to vote on them at the same time?
I'm sorry, it was X.
Oh, X.
X. Yes,
Oh.
and we are going to move that back for another meeting or two until we get a more firm proposal from the consultant. But we're going to need to talk to you, the council first before we can get that done.
Okay, thank you.
You're pulling it.
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
Okay, so we only need to vote on J. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto,
Yes.
Councilmember, or Mayor Pro Tem Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Harnick.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you so much. We will move to the action calendar. And going to 14A, which is the rebranding of the Palm Desert iHub to an entrepreneurial resource center. Mr. Seha, please.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Eric Seha, your Director of Economic Development. Today, we bring forward to you rebranding of the Palm Desert iHub. And so we wanted to give you a little bit of history here. The iHub officially opened in 2021 with the goal of being a business development center that was really focused on technology, entrepreneurs, and business startups. Right now, we have a lease in North Palm Desert that runs through February 2027. And earlier this year, the School of Entrepreneurship took over the operations for the center. Most recently, Riverside County Office of Economic Development has also joined in our effort out here in the Coachella Valley and has contributed over $300,000 to expand programming at the center. We've been doing some research and consulting with the state and the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. The iHub brand is essentially owned by the state. And in 2019, they approved the Palm Springs iHub. They've also had a second round, the iHub 2, and they've only recognized now 10 total iHubs, and Palm Springs and Palm Desert are not one of those designations. Sorry. So because we don't really have access to the iHub name, and with efforts brought on by the School of Entrepreneurship as well as Riverside County, we've been looking at a rebranding effort. And what is being proposed tonight is changing from the Palm Desert iHub to the Entrepreneurial Resource Center powered by the City of Palm Desert. These are the graphics that have been prepared, and we'll show you why this branding is also important. With the School of Entrepreneurship managing the daily operations, they've actually been able to tap into a more regional approach around entrepreneurship, because they also operate centers in the city of Temecula as well as in the city in San Bernardino. And so this kind of branding effort really speaks better to the programming that's being offered there for entrepreneurs, the resources that are there as well, and how it ties into a more regional Southern California branding effort. We did run this effort by our iHub subcommittee consisting of the mayor and Councilmember Quintanilla, and we were able to get their recommendation to approve moving forward with the change of name, and now it's here for the full city council in your consideration. I'm here to answer any questions. Dr. Ezekiel Bonias is here as well.
Thank you. Would you like to offer anything?
Well, I'm here to answer any questions, but I just wanted to share that I incredibly appreciate the support, and by creating this as an entrepreneurship resource center, it certainly aligns with the objective of making this a center that has many resources for entrepreneurs, that we're not just limited to one sort of industry, but we are looking at different stages of entrepreneurs, different types of entrepreneurs, from veteran-owned companies, female-owned companies. We're looking at attracting a small business development center, a women's business center, a business broker, a community development corporation, and many other resources that are certainly aligned to help entrepreneurs and the diverse demographics that it is to own a small business and make it certainly a regional center for our community.
Well, I know you put a lot of effort into this, so getting it there. So thank you for that. Are there any comments or questions? Please.
So thank you. We talked briefly a few minutes ago, and just, coincidentally, I met with an AI executive yesterday. And as we all know, AI is moving at lightning speed, and we're probably all dabbling in it a little bit, including myself, but I probably don't exactly know what I'm doing with it. And anyway, I had a short meeting yesterday with this AI executive, and I know he is going to be meeting with you. And the idea came up about perhaps somehow having some AI partnership that includes the new rebranding of the center, and perhaps we even have an AI steering committee at some point. And I know he said that Palm Springs had a big event on Monday with AI executives. Eisenhower was at the event, Desert Healthcare, the Palm Springs School District. They're moving forward with some type of AI steering committee and looking to get retired tech executives that live in our area on board. So it's just thought this would be a good time to bring it up. It just
Yeah.
worked out coincidentally time-wise.
Yeah, we are, as mentioned, we are having a meeting tomorrow morning to certainly look at expanding this and bringing some sort of programming that is, again, scientifically based and research focused, and certainly make it available to the community. Again, this is part of the programming that we look to expand in this coming year at the Entrepreneurship Resource Center.
Right. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Love what you're doing. Love Think Like an Owner.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Thank you so much. So we then need a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mayor, did we have public comment?
Did
There's
we-
no public comment cards and there's no public comment on the
Perfect.
Zoom.
I didn't ask for any, and thank goodness there wasn't. So,
I'll
thanks.
second.
Okay.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Harnan.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll go to 14B, adopt a policy, parenthetically DS-001, for notifying homeowner associations as part of the building permit process. I have a quick question. Do you feel it's best at this point? Would you like me to ask if there is public comment? Generally, okay. So is there public comment?
There is no public comment, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. For the record, Richard Canoni, Director of Development Services. The item, if we can, wanted to just run through a number of slides. If you recall, this item was originally presented back in October, and it was asked to be continued to get input from the HOAs to ensure that we were initially proposing it. Well, it was a 30-day, it was a 10-day notification if they needed to take action should the permittee and the HOA not be in agreement with what they were proposing. And so we did hold that community meeting in November. We also met with separately with Silver Spur HOA. And quite honestly, this policy really is targeted more towards HOAs like Silver Spur. And what I mean by that, typically the very large HOAs that are managed by large companies, we typically don't have that issue where there's not a letter that's provided with the permit. A lot of times it's the smaller HOAs or HOAs that are sort of voluntary. And so we really wanted to make sure we captured their input. And so the policy that you see in front of you this evening is a result of that input from both the Silver Spur HOA reps that we met with, as well as the I want to say approximately 12 HOA representatives that were at the community meeting. So it's very much simplified. If a permit is submitted that does not have the HOA letter, the city staff will notify the HOA immediately that approval is needed. At that point in time, there's what we'll call this 30-day cure period. They thought that would be more than enough time. We would still continue to review the permit, hoping that there is some sort of approval that's granted by the HOA or their architectural committee. And at that point in time, if it is, we would issue the permit. If there is still opposition, we obviously cannot issue, or we cannot hold back issuing a building permit if they've met all of the requirements, but at least it gives enough notification to the HOA should they want to take action. And that's really the gist of it. It's a lot more simpler than the sort of two-step process. And just so you'll see how it will sort of operate in the back of house, we've been working on expanding our GIS capabilities over the last year. And this is just a screenshot example. And so what we've done here is we have mapped approximately 141 HOAs throughout the city. And so as a permit is submitted, we will have this ultimately linked with our permit system. So it'll automatically tell you if you are within that HOA, but at least our intake staff will be able to see that. And then we have the address. If there is a management company, it's already listed and we'll be able to send that out to them. And so we won't be searching all over to figure out where to send it. We're trying to essentially automate that. So when that is submitted, that would just be part of that package. So that's something we're continuing to work on. The exemptions, if you recall, we had interior modifications, the list in front of you. I won't read each of those. The only item that changed or really expanded was the first bullet point with respect to interior modification. Some of the comments that we received from that community meeting that we held was that if there are instances where there's common wall units, some of the HOAs actually require sign off for any interior improvements if there are common walls. And so we took that note and included it in that if there is a common wall, we will send it to all HOAs. And again, if the HOA replies back that they do not require their approval, then we'll note that in the system. And again, it'll just be a way to better update our GIS system and have that information. And really, those were the gist of the changes. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, so I did have one, but you've already answered it. I just was wondering, how many HOAs do we have? 'Cause it seems like a lot. I have another question, though. Reading, who has to respond. Is there any obligation on the parts of the HOA, or have we communicated to them that they need to file or register any substantive changes that they have with us, whether it's a personnel or if there's some issue that they've changed? Do we have anything like that that would cause them to let us know if there's something we need to know about?
We don't in this policy. One of the other questions that came up at the meeting was if we had a specific letter that we wanted from them. And we had an issue that we actually did create a model letter at one point for STR approvals. And it caused a whole stir with a number of HOAs because they have their own letter that they want to use. And so we said, fine, we don't want to be overly bureaucratic with this. I don't want to dictate if it comes by email from the management company or letter, we will let them tell us how to best submit that. But we did not really include if there is a change to update that.
Okay, and I wonder because it says the HOA response must be signed and dated by an authorized representative, and then you list who those might be. And I'm just wondering if they need to let us know if there's changes so that the city does its job as well as possible.
We can certainly include it or just make that part of our practice. It's something I can look to work with through Eric's office and Rylan as we continue to update those lists of HOAs when we have those meetings.
And I think a perfect example you brought up, if there's a management company change, it would be good if the city knew about it so that we'd be able to contact the right person or at least have the exchange with the right entity.
Okay.
So I don't know how we go about doing it, but it seems reasonable. Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Councilmember Nastandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Truby.
Yes.
Mayor Harnick.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Okay, next 14C, award a contract to Crosstown Electrical and Data, Inc. of Irwindale, California for the Dinah Shore Drive Corridor Project, project number MST 00001.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council members. My name is Randy Chavez. I'm the Deputy Director of Public Works. The report before you outlines proposed improvements for the Dinah Shore Corridor. These upgrades are necessary to address safety concerns. Some of the improvements include enhancing the crosswalks on Shoppers Lane and Monterey Avenue, new signage and striping, traffic signal hardware improvements and replacement, also improving the traffic signal timing. However, the most notable improvement will be restricting the northbound Monterey traffic and westbound Dinah Shore traffic from entering the Costco gas station. Traffic will be redirected to enter through Shoppers Lane. Staff has worked extensively with representatives from the City of Rancho Mirage, Costco, and our traffic engineering designer to develop this solution. One thing to note is that before work begins, staff will coordinate with the Public Affairs Division to notify constituents about the upcoming improvements. This concludes my presentation, and Maya Bouchette, she's on Zoom. She's with the design team, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I know I've heard so many people talk about this, and it's an issue, and especially on RPEC, Dean Gattos mentions it all the time. So this is great. I'm glad to hear it, and look forward to seeing the changes. Thank you. Oh, we do have a question. Just kidding.
Sorry. I mean, talking about traffic flow, this might be a little bit off the subject, but over the last couple of years, we've installed those merge lanes. One of them is at that intersection, Monterey, and heading onto the interstate. If you're heading westbound on Dinah Shore and you want to go northbound Monterey to get to the interstate.
Slip lane. Right?
Slip lane. I call it a merge lane, slip
Yeah,
lane,
slip
whatever. We did one at Fred Waring in 111.
Right.
And is there any way to educate the public that you're not supposed to stop there? It's meant to keep you flowing, man. Like that was the whole point of building these things. Like we build them, but then people seem a little bit taken aback, like they're still stopping there and waiting to get on. I don't know. It's just a thought I had since we're talking about traffic flow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the bright side could put it in there every day.
Yeah.
It beats me, but
We could certainly work with our design team to see if there's any additional signage or something else we could do to make it a little bit more user friendly.
like keep mob moving, don't stop, something
Right.
like that. All right. Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Councilmember Nastandi?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, there's no public comment.
Thank you.
Councilmember Nastandi?
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Truby?
Yes.
Mayor Harnick?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. So we will go to public hearings. A, public hearing to consider the issuance of tax exempt bonds by the California Public Finance Authority in support of financing improvements to Hazelton Betty Ford Foundation's healthcare facilities. And we'll open the public. You're really going to have to help me with this. We'll open the public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have a presentation for this. This item in front of you is how would I put it? I guess it's a procedural obligation that we have through the IRS tax code, as well as the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act, or TEFRA. The entity Hazelton Betty Ford owns a number of properties in our city that they run their facility out of, and they wish to do improvements and use tax exempt bonds. And what the regulations require is that the municipality where that project is located hold a public hearing and get input on the use of those tax exempt bonds. So approving this resolution does not obligate us in any way for anything. All it does is fulfill a procedural obligation of those regulations. And that's really all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Well, that answers the question, and we've done our job. Are there any public comments?
No public comment, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions, anything at all? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing. And I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Second?
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Harnick.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Are there any information items? Okay, it's the holidays. Take care of your friends and neighbors. Seeing no unfinished business, this meeting stands adjourned.
See everybody next year.